Boom.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark. And we are all in the roaring 20 spirit tonight, Ted.
Kara, you did it. You finally got everybody tonight dressed up. And congratulations to you, Kara. You look marvelous. And I also want to welcome our featured guests tonight, starting with Tiffany Peeler from Brook AI. Tiffany, great to finally see you here on After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Ted.
Great to have you, and a great setting wherever you are tonight. I see that in the background, and but
We're
it looks,
joining
Tiffany,
you straight from the 1920s.
Yes, it looks, however, like Tully and Sean are still at work. Tully Williams from the Nilo Company is here, and Sean Kingery from Step One Automotive. And Tully, I got my Tully button on, so I'm ready for you, my friend.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, and now we are. Kara, we are live. Is that right?
We are live. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So surely everybody's catching us tonight. But I mean, if you're not, there's a way to watch it after the show too. So stay tuned for that.
I just saw Roger Conan peek in, and I saw Tony Owens on there. And now, Sean, there's got to be a reason that we're all dressed up tonight, right, Sean?
There's got to be a reason. Of course, we're here to talk about Brook AI. Of course, we're all dressed up, the Roaring Twenties, and we're just trying to follow Kara's lead. Because let's be honest. If you're anywhere on social media or LinkedIn, you're going to see Kara. I mean, it's Kara. She's just everywhere. I thought the Star Wars was good. For those that don't know, I'm a Star Wars freak. She might have topped it with
the Star Wars was great.
The Star Wars was awesome.
This is unbelievable, though.
Yes. Listen, you got Tilly and I in bow ties, so there's got to be something out there.
The proof is in the pudding. You're right.
It is.
Tully, there is a big event coming up, like Sean said. It's in September. And Kara, give us the details on that.
Yes, we are not just dressed up just because it's a Monday night. We are dressed up for the Fixed Ops Roundtable, the Roaring 20s, happening on September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And we do encourage you to dress up. You don't have to, but there is a best dress contest for all the speakers and every attendee as well. So everyone on this show tonight is giving everybody a run for their money already. So make sure you grab your wonderful outfits and your complimentary tickets at fixedopsroundtable.com.
And Tiffany, Kara is right. There are some best dressed awards for this event. In addition to the best practice, those awards are spectacular. Brook AI is one of the hosts and sponsors of this event. And tonight we do have an exclusive sponsor as well, Kara.
Yes, we do. Of course, BG Products, Partners Beyond Products. They sponsor so much of what we do at the Fixed Ops Roundtable and our weekly show. So thank you to BG for sponsoring all of our events. And I have to mention, Ted, what do you know about racing cars? Because I've said this in every After Dark show lately, but congratulations to Bob Tasca, who is BG'd out because he won the 2022 Topeka Heartland National Championship. So congratulations to Bob Tasca and BG.
Bob Tasca and the Tasca Automotive family use BG products exclusively throughout their dealerships. And he just won that big race last week, Kara. So we are excited for him and BG products. And stay tuned. I think we will have a big announcement coming up for the Fixed Ops Roundtable Roaring 20s. And hopefully everybody will be dressed up for that. Not just BG'd out, but maybe some combination thereof, Kara, with the Roaring 20s.
Yes. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
So one of the things to look forward to is that there's going to be a panel at this event, and it's going to be on AI. And Jay, John, how are you? And Tiffany is going to lead that panel, and she's got some help on there with Tully and Sean. So I don't even know where to start with this. Tully, maybe kind of set the stage for us with what's coming at the event.
Well, the whole thing about AI is people like, what the heck is AI and what can it do for me? It can do so much for you. It's going to be the employee that does what? Shows up for work 365 for 24 hours a day and doesn't backtalk, doesn't get sick, and doesn't get COVID, answers the phone the same way every time. I think I'm dreaming at this very moment.
Yeah, and I see some folks chiming in. I see Eric Barbosa, who was on a great panel as well, and Bill Demery, who's also on a number of panels. And you're right, Tully. When I made my service appointment recently, Tiffany, I did that not during normal business hours, but I did that, later in the day at night. And Brook AI is able to help us do that.
Yeah,
it works every time. I'm telling you. Look at this. You can make the appointment after 5 o'clock. Oh, sorry. We're busy with customers between 4 and 6. We can't answer the phone between 7 and 9 because we got too many customers on there, and you can't call between 12 and 1. We're at lunch. There's only a couple hours of the day we can answer the phone, but no. Brooke answers the call every time. It's perfect. Hello, Ed.
Everybody, Ed Roberts is in the house, so we got to pay homage to Ed. Ed,
Sure, Ed. Sure, Ed.
Well, Tully, if you think that's good, answering the phone after 5 o'clock, I'm excited to see what we do this coming Thanksgiving, because last year was our first Thanksgiving. We had just launched the application. I remember coming into work following the holiday weekend and just checking things out. And we booked, I think it was like 350 or so appointments. And this is back before we had the number of stores live that we do today on Thanksgiving Day. I couldn't believe it because I didn't know who was calling in and scheduling service appointments on Thanksgiving Day. But needless to say, they were doing it, and we were capturing that work on behalf of our dealers. So it was super exciting.
Wow.
Holidays, you figure out half the people are working super hard in the kitchen, the other half are sitting there drinking. You got to think and say, hey, I think I'm going to get my car checked out. I mean, that's the time to do it, right? And what do we do if you don't have AI? You get a voice machine. Please call back later. I mean, I tell you, it makes a perfect sense to have Brook AI answer your phones 24/7.
Sean, what was the clincher for you over there at step one?
Well, first of all, how do you follow Tully? I mean, it's Tully. You gotta love the guy, right? For us, and again, I say game changer, guys. And I'm not going to steal Tiffany's thunder. I think everybody's original idea of Brook AI was they're going to do overflow. If you're thinking overflow, you're thinking wrong. It's the wrong idea, guys. Here's the deal. And I'm looking forward to the panel with Tiffany. The idea behind Brook AI for us was when COVID hit, and maybe even before COVID, with the millennial generation, we've lost a segment of workers. They're gone. They don't exist. I live in the panhandle of Florida, okay? Southern Alabama, and Target's hiring at $20 an hour. Bank of America is going to go to $25 an hour to start, okay? Where do you compete against that financially? You can't. You know where you compete with it? You compete it with Brook AI, because Brook answers the phone for the same price every single day. And to Tully's point, they don't ever call in sick. They're not texting 24/7, okay? They're not mad at their boyfriend, girlfriend, or whoever it is. They're always answering. And the coolest thing that we've done, the clincher, I think ultimately originally was, and we've talked about this, is roadside assistance. When does, by the way, speaking of Thanksgiving, you talked about Thanksgiving, Tiffany. Guys, cars still break down when we're not there. Cars break down at night when people are going home, because at 6 o'clock, we lock up because that's like prison time. We go in lockdown mode. We shut down. People's cars breaks down. They break down on the way home. They break down all hours of the day, but we're never there to answer the phone. And Ted, until you mentioned a voicemail, who checks them anyway? Worst invention ever, by the way. Get rid of voicemail and service call. Should be gone. You know what? You don't need voicemail with Brook AI. Brook AI answers the phone 24/7, 7 days a week, to Tully's point. Doesn't call in sick. It doesn't miss days. It doesn't have a bad day. It doesn't come in a bad mood. And again, roadside assistance. It's an option, guys. And I'm going to steal all Tiffany's thunder, and she's going to send me a bad message in a second. I promise it is.
No, never.
Guys, if and I was resistant because, again, I'm old and crotchety and whatever I am. Okay, I get it. But guys, it's the client has the option. If they don't want to talk to a computer, they don't have to. I literally, right before this phone call, was on the phone with Delta Airlines. Guess how many people I talked to? 0. Everything was done automated. People are already used to it. This is not okay. It's the new science for us because we're slow and behind the 8 ball. Okay, everybody else is doing it. Call Bank of America. It's where I bank. You don't talk to people. Okay, Everybody knows my daughter. Most people know my daughter's a bigwig at Bank of America. What are they getting rid of? Tellers. Why? Because they can't find them. That's why they're going to go to $25 an hour, just to hopefully get somebody to show up to work. Whatever you agree to with Brook AI and the price, it doesn't change. They're always there. I mean, to answer your question, Ted, it's because it's foolproof. And as Tully has taught everybody, We're in the repeat and referral business, guys. And again, I use this example. You ask a customer to look up your phone number on the internet. First of all, you hope the phone number is right. Second of all, it rings, and you hope to goodness we actually answer the phone. And then it just rings and goes to nowhere and leave a voicemail. Nobody returns. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is a game changer. Truly, Brook AI changes the way you do your business.
Tully, Sean,
so if I can jump in here,
go ahead, please.
Just a little bit for everyone who's joining that doesn't know what we're talking about. I kind of want to give a little bit of a background on like what Brook AI is and what it is that we do with this kind of technology. Everyone kind of automatically assumes, and I think rightfully so, that we're talking about a robot. And we actually like use a hashtag that we all think is very funny, but it's not about. So this is more than a robot. I mean, we took 20 plus years of inbound service call recordings in actual dealerships handled by actual successful, well-trained service BDC agents to build a speech analytics platform, couple that with some machine learning, but also natural language understanding. And so what that means is when a customer calls in and gets to Brook, we're able to understand what that customer is asking for, their opening intent, naturally in the way they speak. Typically, when you think about a robot or a chatbot, you think about a machine that looks at text that has been converted from speech. And you guys have smartphones, right? When you read your voicemails, they sometimes do not come out accurate. So traditional chatbots are looking at text that has been converted from speech and trying to figure out what of like 100 predetermined responses it can shoot back. Brook is more than that. It can understand tone. It understands customers calling in, what their opening intent is. It can hear a customer even if there is a significant amount of background noise or if they have a heavy accent, perhaps. And we're still able to understand what they're asking for and respond appropriately, whether that's to transfer to a different department, transfer to roadside assistance, determine whether they're under warranty or not before we transfer to the appropriate roadside assistance provider, and ultimately book the appointment or simply answer their question if they're calling in to ask how late you're open on a Saturday, for example. All of that can be handled leveraging technology. To Sean's point, all the other industries have been doing it for ages. And we as consumers are used to it. We're just bringing it into automotive. And it's about time.
I like that comment from Larry, Tully. Is that towards you?
Oh, yes, it is.
I never heard it refer to that way, sir. Talk a lot.
Not me, never.
That is amazing.
I thought maybe that was for me.
No, I love it. Wow. You're right on all those points. And now, by the way, any resistance? Because Tiffany, there's got to be resistance to anything new that's out there.
Let me take that on right there. So yeah. I think that when you look at it, your customers have been answering the phones or have been calling your dealership for the last, at our store, 100 years. When you have someone different, because change is tough for humans, you're going to have some reaction. So we did have some fallback, but what we do is you educate. You tell them, do you order stuff with Alexa? I do it all the time. Alexa turns on my light, turns off my light, turns on the TV. It's just something that you have to get used to. And as we have seen the last 3 to 4, 6, 8 months come up, more people want to talk to Brook because why? Brook answers the phone and treats you with respect each time. Kaboom. So the whole goal is educating your customer base is a must to make this work successfully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct, Sean.
And well, it's funny is we just purchased 2 new stores today. I thought everybody in the car business knew what X-Time was, and I was unpleasantly surprised that they didn't. And I'm not going to steal again more of Tiffany's thunder here, guys. For those that are on X-Time, it's completely seamless. It's, and I'll let Tiffany go into that, and it works with a lot of appointment scheduling systems. But with X-Time, it's your schedule, it's your platform. Yes, there is some resistance. I have to be honest with you, less customer resistance. It's more employer resistance. Employees like, oh, this doesn't work. This is going to work. This isn't going to work. Listen, we're doing it because you're not answering the phone. It's just that simple. You walk into a BDC and there's 26 in queue, and the average wait time is 16 minutes. I mean, that doesn't work, guys. It just doesn't work. And for those, and again, my last selling point for Tiffany is, guys, listen to a demo. I'm telling you, if you get Tiffany on the phone and have her play a demo with the Brook AI system, you can use on my store, you can use Tully's store, you can use any of the stores. Watch how it works, and you're done. I promise you, you're closed. Whether the client's been in the store or not been in the store. If the client's been in the store, guys, it's 12 seconds, start to finish. Start, done, appointment done, it's hooked, booked, tattooed, in X time, it's in your DMS, move forward. If they haven't been there before, it takes a second or two, but other than that, it's seamless again.
You know, what we also found is because the seamless connection with Xtime is honestly the way we found Brook AI. But listen to this, is that what you find is that you find out all the little weirdo things that your service manager put into the scheduler. Like, I don't want to take an appointment for the next 2 days because it's scary. No, we take an appointment the same day. So we had some, it was very interesting to get some of those knickknacks fixed out, and then all of a sudden it just imploded. So it really, really works hard to learn everything, but Xtime, if you have it set up right, Brook is just as well as an online appointment, which is 100% concurrent. Everything's perfect.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, ours and her appointments actually show up at a higher rate. We've been doing some we've been running some data on that, and we can actually confirm that the appointments set by Brook show at a higher rate. It might have something to do with automated text messages, text message confirmations. I'm not sure, but they've been showing at over 80%, whereas compared to traditional web appointments show much lower. So,
well, you know
it's
why?
It's all been really great.
When they call in, they're making an appointment. I think when they talk to Brook, it's a real appointment unless something happens, right? I think that if you go an online appointment, like, yeah, whatever, I'll get to it if I get to it. It's a real, someone took the effort, and oh my God, we answered the phone because, answering the phone in the service department is a struggle. And that is the key issue. So if we answer the phone, make the appointment, of course they're going to show up. Why would they not show up? And I think that's because we have a solid connection every time.
And the customer got to schedule it in the time they wanted to schedule it, not what the service managers talk to BDC and, hey, don't book anything for the next 3 days. Don't tell Tully, but I'm going to lock the schedule down for the next 3 days. No, don't say anything. But guess what? Brook AI doesn't care because Xtime says, I have an opening.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's sort of like
so
another.
Ted, you asked about people that like I'm not sure how you exactly phrased it, but any pushback, right? So we get pushback from stores all the time that are either referred to, like Sean said, listen to a demo. And they're like, we want people to answer the phones. We want people to answer the phones, and we want that human personal touch. And I understand that and appreciate that. But it comes down to you kind of have to pick one because you can't have both worlds, right? You can't have all of your phone calls answered by a person and handled professionally, politely, professional, polite greeting, all those things. So you have to kind of choose. Do you want to capture 50% of your calls and allow the customer to self-service, or do you want to capture all of your calls and allow 50% of the customers who are willing to interact with the tool, interact with the technology and self-service, and then free up your people to handle the other 50%, right? So it just kind of makes sense that way. So I think it comes down to not so much what do you believe in as a business owner or for your customers, but which one are you going to choose? Are you going to allow all of your calls to be answered and let the customer make the decision, or are you making the decision for the customer?
How about you free your BDC up to make outbound phone calls for recalls?
That would be
parts. There's a thought. By the way, there's your next Brook AI.
Find services.
Figure out outbound SOP phone calls, but that your BDC is now working for you. Your BDC is making outbound phone calls to make appointments show up on, get those parts off the shelves that are obsolete as soon as they don't show up. I'm just telling you guys, it is a no-brainer once you figure it out.
And the struggle that Sean and I have.
That was our intention.
The struggle that Sean and I have. The struggle that we have, Sean and I have, is our employees answering the phones.
Yes.
And you think about a great store probably answers the phone at 80-something%. A great store. An incredible store with one phone call a day might answer at 95%. But the average service department probably answers the phone at 60 to 70% of the time. Now everybody's going to say, oh, totally not at our store. Look at the data and you'll be massively shocked.
Yes.
And what's happening? People are calling to make an appointments and we're not answering the phone. This is the holy grail. Free up your people to take advantage of more phone time, to take incoming calls about questions that are not a Brook AI question. Or they're calling in to check status. Shame on us for not calling them first.
Thank you.
But it really helps us free up the phone so we can answer it with a human for things that humans need to answer for. It frees up probably 25 to 30% of your phone calls, if not more.
Tiffany?
So a colleague of mine called his local dealership the other day because he was having an issue with his vehicle. And they told him they weren't going to be able to get the vehicle in for, or no, he went in. They didn't call him with the status update. He called the store at 5 o'clock and said, I dropped my vehicle off at 9 a.m. What's going on? They said, oh, you need a new transmission.
Wow.
And he was like, what? What do you mean I need a new transmission? Like, I don't have a vehicle. So then he ended up calling around to some local service repair shops, and all of the local service repair shops were booked out until mid-September. So long story short, he ended up getting a loaner from the dealership. They're going to take great care of him. So it all worked out. It wasn't initially a great experience for him, but I wonder why those local repair shops are so booked up. Why are they booked out till mid-September? They can't get anyone in who needs a transmission job done on their vehicle. Is it because we're not answering the calls when the customers are calling into us and they're being forced to maybe call over to some local repair shops and schedule those appointments instead? I wonder about that. So our integration with Xtime allows, you to Brook AI to look at the Xtime scheduler and book according to those policies. But we can integrate with any other tools as well, go direct to DMS. It just kind of depends on, the technologies that the dealership is using. And Tiffany, we do a whole audit. To Polly's point earlier, finding out things about what's been done. And sometimes service managers don't even know that things were done. Things were done before they took over the role as being service manager that were so down deep into, the crevices of Xtime that they didn't know things existed. And the truth was that not only was it happening with Brook calls, but it was happening with the online customer and the website. So now that we're doing this health check for you during the onboarding process and making all these small adjustments so that our platform can perform, the websites are also performing better and delivering a better experience too. So it's kind of great on both fronts.
I want to thank Ashley Ellis because it looks like this Ashley, Tiffany, knows a whole lot about Brook AI, and that it also integrates with CDK, Reynolds, Automate. See that, Mark Mickens? And just announced Techion. Poor Cara Delane would probably never get a word in edgewise with the three of you here. And I want to get some perspective from Cara, as not just as a consumer, but also as somebody who's a dealer, who works in a dealership. Cara, what are your thoughts on AI and some of the things you're hearing today?
Well, I will say I have done a demo with you guys at NADA once with Eric, and we were extremely impressed because she's right. You think about AI and you're like, oh, there's all these kinks. It was crazy. So if you haven't done a demo, I would definitely do it because I was super impressed by this company. And I mean, we can all admit, like Sean and Tully were saying, the dealerships are never perfect. And, somebody calls in sick, they're hung up on the phone forever. You just never know. And if you're like me, I want efficiency. I like to talk to people in person, but if I really need a service on my car and I can't get you on the phone, I'm going somewhere else that is going to answer the phone so I can get in today or possibly tomorrow to make sure I do get the service that I need. So, on our front of it, I definitely think it's a great idea. And think about the world, guys. Automotive is already headed in that direction. So many things are digitalized. Technology is constantly improving. I mean, why haven't we already done this?
Well, Tiffany?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I mean, we talk to a lot of stores that have a lot of different setups. No BDC, we're leaning on our advisors or a receptionist to answer the call. if that's the case, we have so many solutions to support our dealers. We actually have a virtual BDC for service. So we have an outsourced service call center where we will take inbound calls on behalf of our dealers and make outbound calls for them if they don't have a team to make those decline services SOP recall calls. And everyone always asks us, like, why would you create this technology and cannibalize your own product? And the answer to that was because it was the right thing to do. It was just the right thing to do. I mean, we have a team of agents and we go through the same staffing struggles that Sean has mentioned earlier. And by utilizing our tool in that department, we're able to eliminate hold times. We're able to capture and connect more customers. We're able to do the same thing that any store could. So if you don't have a BDC and you're leaning on advisors and you want to eliminate inbound service calls completely, then use Brook and then let our team handle the leftovers for the customers who say, hey, I want to speak to a live representative. Because if they want to, they should be transferred, right? And we can take 100% of the calls. Or if you have a BDC, then consider leaning on technology to handle at least the brunt of that inbound volume. So you can use these people that you have to pay a higher hourly wage to get quality people to show up. Use them smarter, use them in a more positive revenue generating way so that they can really make an impact to the business and, ultimately, hopefully over time, develop a career within your store. I mean, that's, I think a smarter way to use it. We have BDCs that have had their phone systems go down and they were able to say, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Brooke is still there. She's taking the brunt of the calls. Let's pivot and use this time to go do some training kind of off the cuff until they can get this all fixed. So it just kind of makes it an easier environment and less stressful too.
Ted, real quick, and I know you got to jump off, and I know we're almost out of time. I got 2 different text messages from 2 different people that asked a question, I think off of Mark's feed. And I'm going to jump on that only because we do it. We have 6 Chrysler stores. And I think the question is, does it work with anything other than X time and scheduling systems? Guys, in my FCA store, my Stellantis stores, obviously we have to use Dealer FX to be compliant, okay? And Tiffany, you get about 20, maybe a couple of seconds, but it works with other platforms. I know we schedule through Dealer FX, and then that pushes into X time or the DMS. But Tiffany, I'll let you take that. There's 2 different people text me, Sean, does it work on anything other than X time? So maybe that's where Mark was heading with that.
Yeah, so CDK, we'll go direct to DMS. If you're not with X Time, we'll do direct to DMS, CDK, Reynolds & Reynolds, Automate. We just certified with Techion. Dealer Logics is right around the corner. And we're hoping for more after that.
Love it. Thank you, Sean. Good
yes,
point.
Of course.
Tully, I'll give you the last. Well, I'll give you sort of the last word. Then I'll come back to Tiffany.
Well, I'm going to say, if you're truly in the repeat and referral out business, if you want to sell more hours, if you want to answer the phone 365, 724, Brook AI is what you need.
Doesn't get better than that, Tiffany.
No, it doesn't. Tully and Sean, you two are the best. I couldn't appreciate you more. Thank you.
Wow. Well, everybody, if you want to find out more about Brook AI, and I know there'll be more questions, we're going to have a panel coming up at the next Fixed Ops Roundtable. Tiffany Peeler, Tully Williams, and Sean Kingery will all be on the panel discussing some of the pain points of retail and some of the finer points. And Kara, when is that event coming up?
It's coming up quick. It is in September, and that's going to be a 3-day virtual event on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So go ahead and grab your tickets to watch this amazing panel, and you'll grab your tickets at fixedopsroundtable.com.
Wow, love it. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We will see you at the Roaring 20s on September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. We're about out of time. Tully Williams, thank you for all you do for our industry. And Tully, you're a keynote at the event from what I see as well.
You are such a nice man. I want to say thank you, Ted, for bringing the limelight back to Fixed. We were in the dungeons, and you have brought us out to the top. You are the man.
Isn't that the truth?
I feel like Moses, Sean.
And we tell you all the time, this roundtable gets more feedback for fixed operations than you'll ever know. It's huge. I mean, monster huge.
Wow. Tiffany, look forward to seeing you at the big event.
Yeah, listen, can't wait. Thanks again for having me. This has been fun. This flew by.
Yeah, right. And everybody, if you missed any part of tonight's show, Kara, it's available on where?
YouTube. We're on YouTube now. So if you did miss tonight's show and you want to watch it on a replay, go over and subscribe to our YouTube channel now, because the Fixed Ops Roundtable is taking over just about every social media platform. So y'all keep watching out for us.
Very true.
Super. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. And I am so excited, Ted, that everybody on here was dressed up tonight in the Roaring 20s spirit. So thank you, Tiffany, Tully, and Sean. I can't wait to see y'all's panel on the Fixed Ops Roundtable, the Roaring 20s. And thank you, everybody, for watching and commenting tonight. We enjoyed it, and we will see you all on Wednesday at 8 p.m.